You've probably been told that Frisco, Texas is the place to be. It's been ranked one of the best places in America to live. But I've lived here for 4 years, and honestly, there are a few things that might make you reconsider moving here that most people won't tell you. So today, I'm gonna walk you through 15 things that you need to be prepared for before moving to Frisco, Texas. And if you can't handle them, then Frisco may not be the place for you. So let's start with number 1. The summer heat is no joke. Frisco regularly experiences 100+ degree weather for all of July, August, and well into September. And 2025 is already heading that direction. So a few things to remember: your electric bill is definitely going to be higher in the summers. Our ACs run real hard during June, July, and August. I would say July and August. I call them the twins. They're the hottest 2 months of the year, and your outdoor activities really do become more limited. You're going to want to do things in the early morning and the late afternoon, evening. There are people that just go all out all summer, and that's fine, but just know that there's a lot of people that prefer not to do that. I know as a real estate agent, I sweat so much during the summer, and so I love the AC in my car. And sometimes I feel like just walking to my mailbox to get my mail, I come back all sweaty. And so it's really hot, but you have to remember that the rest of the year is super mild and just creates for a really great fall and spring. Fall and spring are so nice here, and winters aren't that bad. So if you can get through July and August, I tell everyone that, then you are golden. And while you're dealing with the heat, you're also going to have to get used to being in your car. And that is number 2, is really car dependency is a way of life. We do not have public transportation in Frisco. The closest public transportation is in Plano, and there's a train line that goes all the way to Dallas. So if you don't want to drive to Dallas, you could drive to Plano, jump on the train, and go all the way to Dallas, but it takes a lot longer. And so Frisco's really designed for drivers, and most residents will commute to work. So you're looking at, depending on where you work, whether it's Dallas or, the mid cities or even Fort Worth, you're looking at Dallas is going to be at least a 30-minute drive. And in rush hour traffic, it's going to be at least 45 minutes, if not an hour. So you need to get used to that. And sometimes even just running simple errands, we have gotten busier and there is more traffic, but it's just getting to places in Frisco can take a little bit longer than you might think, because we have a major highway, the Dallas North Tollway, that runs through Frisco, but that's really the only major highway. So if you're wanting to get around on all the streets, the lights and the traffic and everybody just coming and going will slow you down a bit, especially during that, going to work and coming home hour. I sat at, there's one particular intersection at El Dorado and the tollway, and man, I ended up on the access road trying to turn, and I think I sat through that light 7 times. It was just bad. And a lot of that is because we're still building streets, and when those streets are done, it's going to relieve that El Dorado intersection. But really, that's the main one that has traffic right now. So I feel like Frisco's done pretty well in their infrastructure, but we'll get more to that. But we do have traffic congestion, and it's always going to get worse as the population grows. But for the most part, I feel like we're doing okay. Now, if you lived in Frisco 15, 20 years ago, you're going to complain because it's very different now. I've only lived here 4 years, and so the traffic is normal to me because I moved here from Dallas, downtown Dallas. So traffic's very different than downtown Dallas. Downtown Dallas, I more than likely was going to get cut off or flipped off or, blocked in some way or cussed at, honked at. It's crazy. You come up here and people are like, oh yeah, go right ahead. Or they wave or they let you in. It's a lot friendlier up here. But yeah, there is traffic. It is a complaint to a lot of the people that have been around a while. I've even seen comments on my YouTube channel, but it is what it is. It's a growing city, and it planned for this infrastructure. So yes, the people that have lived here for a while do complain about it. The people that come from busier cities and kind of want a reprieve of that traffic really love it here. And speaking of driving, you're gonna have to budget for more than just gas money because the cost of living is going up. And I hear a lot of complaints about it. I think it's nationwide, but here specifically in Frisco, pricing has gone up. And while there are still affordable things compared to like coastal cities, like the LA, the New Yorks, all of those cities that are on the east and the west borders, we are going to have better pricing than that. The Frisco housing market has seen price increasing about 35% over the last 5 years. And some of that was the pandemic. So take that into consideration. Everyone across the nation had a big bump in their home values during the pandemic. And we kind of haven't slowed down. And I know that there has been market corrections in other places and even other places in Texas. We just haven't seen a large market correction here because we're still growing so much. We still have so much undeveloped land that in 2023, we had an average of 300 people moving here a day. We have major companies moving here, and Frisco being a home landing point for a lot of those businesses. And so we are thriving. I got a couple of comments on YouTube just about, oh, well, you're a realtor, you're going to say that. Guys, I'm here to tell you the truth. And I have a great business. And so whether or not you buy or you don't buy, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that you have the facts, you know what's happening here in Frisco, and you have somebody that is rooting you on and helping you every step of the way, which is my job. And so I'm here to tell you the good and the bad. And in Frisco, the median home price right now is over $650,000. And that can price a lot of buyers out of the city. And so now, do I have people that have bought in the high 300s? Yes. Could I get somebody into a new construction townhome in the low 400s? Yes, but that average has gone up. Now, I will say property taxes in Texas are higher than other states, but Frisco, which is a really great thing, actually lowered their property taxes to 1.6, and we're one of the lowest cities in the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so if you're thinking about your home value, say you buy a house for $500,000 in Frisco, you're paying 1.6% tax on it. That tax isn't an appreciation. Your $500,000 house is going to appreciate, okay, and probably at a greater speed than if you buy in Dallas. If you buy a $500,000 house in Dallas, your taxes are 2.2 or 2.3. They're higher. And so you're paying more money that's not giving you any appreciation. Property taxes is just given to the government. So it doesn't help your appreciation at all. So my thing is look for a city that offers you what you're looking for, but also has lower property taxes. And that's why one of the reasons I'm such a fan of Frisco is because they didn't have to lower property taxes. They did it to help ease the struggle of just everyday life. But at the end of the day, everything has increased. Your groceries, your gas bills, car prices, everything has increased in our nation, and Frisco is not immune to that. And those exact property taxes really fund some amazing amenities, including the schools here in Frisco, which are elite status schools. And that school pressure is real. So that's number 4. And Frisco ISD is known for really their academic excellence. We have people that move all over the United States to come here. And I've even helped people in other countries move here. And the reason that they have identified Frisco is because of the schools. But with that, creates a really intense competitive edge among students, especially if that's important to your child. So many children are enrolled in extracurricular activities, test prep, even from an early age, language. They're wanting to pad their high school resume to get into one of their top schools. So the pressure to perform academically can really create a stress for your child if not really done well in the family environment and setting them up for success. But know that if your kids come to Frisco, they're going to be pushed to go to an even higher status in their school journey. And I think that that's really healthy for a lot of kids if done well. And I feel like Frisco does it pretty well. One of the other things to look out for in school pressure is ask me when moving here about the rezoning for Frisco ISD, because when Frisco was smaller, the southern portion of Frisco, the schools were already established. And as we grew, too many kids started going to every single school. And Frisco put into effect that they didn't want the senior classes to be more than 500 students per high school. So what they decided to do is when the class size got that big, they were going to start building more high schools in order to fit those kids. So when that happened, there was a lot of rezoning going on. And so kids might go freshman and sophomore year to one school, and then all of a sudden your house got rezoned that summer to a different school. And so it really upset a lot of parents. And that is some of the pains of infrastructure growth. And so we're seeing less and less of it now as we've really gotten Frisco under control. But if that really matters to you, then have that conversation with me, and we can talk about where you live versus what high school your kid will feed into. Number 5 is youth sports and how competitive it is. So Frisco is home to a lot of elite youth programs, and they feed into our nationally ranked high school teams. And so a lot of families start their kids really young and spend a lot of money on private coaching, select teams, and sports equipment. I was just talking to a friend the other day, and his son is 11 and already has a private pitching coach. You know, Jason Witten from the Dallas Cowboys, after his retirement, started coaching at one of the private schools here in Frisco. So we just have so many major teams here. We've got the Dallas Cowboys, we've got FC Dallas, we've got the PGA headquarters. They all call Frisco home. And so you just are going to see a higher level of sports and ability. So I have said in multiple videos that if your kid is like the star athlete of their school somewhere else, I would prepare them that getting here, they may not be the star anymore because they may have kids that are already outranking them, but preparing them in the mindset of, hey, this is going to take you up a notch. You're going to get pushed further than you would have ever gotten pushed at this school. So just know that your kids, if they're athletic and they want to pursue athletics in school, that Frisco's really going to push them to get to an elite status. And so I think that there's a lot of positive around that. There can be some negative. So you would want to prepare your child. And if that is not something that your kid would be okay with, then you may need to rethink that, because it's going to happen. It's just, it is what it is. We're insane about sports. Also, the weekends are really riddled with sporting events for your kids. And so my sister, I don't have kids, but my sister and my niece and nephew and my sister's husband were always at their games, whether it's soccer, baseball, volleyball, basketball, all of it. They're always in something, and there's always games and tournaments every single weekend. And so that is something that y'all need to be prepared for as well. Okay, so number 6 is that the housing market really does move pretty quickly here. Even though interest rates are higher than people have known them to be since the pandemic, even though I feel like we're at a really healthy, interest rate, and I don't know how far it's going to go down, I think that when you see a really desirable home in Frisco, it often gets more than one offer, even with the rest of the nation not seeing that and homes sitting a little bit longer. They're sitting longer in Frisco as well, but if you've got a home that's renovated, then, it's going to probably get, and it's priced well, you're going to get multiple offers. We've seen it over and over and over. And, new construction homes are getting, plucked up as well, depending on the neighborhood, depending on the price point. They're moving pretty quickly. I talk to builders all the time, and they're like, yeah, we sold 11 in the last 9 weeks, so things are still really, really hot here in Frisco, and you're going to see new construction, higher price points, and lot premiums, but we're also seeing really great builder incentives. And so if you are looking for builder incentives, then reach out, because I know a lot of them, and I know a lot of the builders personally. I've built relationships with them, and so we can get you in to see those homes. And then really good rental properties get scooped up real fast as well. And so it's just a little bit more competitive here in Frisco. And when you do secure a home, be prepared for some rules about how you can use it. Because number 7 is that our HOAs have significant power. And I'm assuming they do in other states as well, but A lot of Frisco neighborhoods have homeowners associations, and they have varying levels of restrictions. There are subdivisions here that don't have an HOA, and if that's something that you want, let me know. Frisco still allows Airbnbs. And so it's just going to be in the non-HOA areas. I have an Airbnb here in Frisco. And so if that's something you're interested in, let me know because I can help you with that as well. But you have HOA fees that vary anywhere from $500 to $2,000 annually and depend on, it's depending on the community amenities. And they can even go further up than that, depending on if you're in a really luxury gated community. But rules can really dictate a lot of things. And I've seen some things, whether it's what you can plant in your front garden, what color you can paint your home, how many cars you can have in front of your house and for how long. So it does matter. And some HOAs are going to actually have you submit what you want to do to your home and they're going to approve it or not approve it. And so you need to be aware of what every HOA rules are. For example, this is a funny story. I bought a house in auction. So it was a foreclosure in Stonebriar Country Club. I almost forgot the name. In Stonebriar Country Club. And it was a stucco house. And so I was out showing houses and my painters were there because I was just going to flip it. It was really old and needed to be updated. And so my phone starts lighting up and I answer it and it's the HOA at Stonebriar Country Club. And they're like, you cannot paint your home the color you're painting it. And I was like, I'm painting it white. And they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am. And they said, well, all the neighbors just called us because it's not the correct color. So I had my painters text me a picture of the color of the house. Yeah, it was baby blue. They had picked up the wrong paint color and painted the entire house baby blue. So yes, I got in trouble for that and we had to repaint. So just know you can't come to Frisco and paint your house baby blue. But it was a super funny example of how neighbors are going to alert the HOA if they do not like what you're doing because they want their properties to stay nice. So I can understand why they wouldn't want their stucco neighbor to be baby blue. And that leads us to number 8, that Frisco is very suburban and very planned. So Frisco has a real distinct suburban feel with a master planned community motif, if that's even the right word, and we're shopping centers. And so the infrastructure of Frisco was planned to be developed and to be master planned communities. And I think they've really done it well. There's so many different types of communities. There's some with a ton of amenities. There's some with no amenities. There are some that have golf courses in them, some that have lakes, some that have lazy rivers, all the things. And so some are gated, most are not gated. By the way, did y'all know that Frisco just was named the 2nd safest city in the nation by Forbes magazine? So there you have it. Everybody should move to Frisco. But if you're looking for like historic charm or real architectural diversity, you're probably not going to find a ton of it in Frisco because we are so planned. So it's not like we've got, all of these cute little houses that are out of like gingerbread houses because we've got a few in downtown Frisco. It's just not the norm. In fact, I get sometimes really annoyed at how many houses in certain subdivisions look all the same. Literally, they look like somebody just hit copy. And I'm not the biggest fan of that. If you are, no judgment here. I like a little more charm, and some of these neighborhoods don't have it. This city has really carefully curated a lot of the aesthetics, and we still have so much coming to Frisco. And we're going to really be raising the bar on wonderful restaurants, and we're redoing our soccer stadium, and we're bringing in a huge performing arts center where they want to bring Broadway musicals to Frisco. And so we just still have so much left in store, which is why I also tout that if you're going to buy in Frisco, right now's the time to buy before the next, 5 to 8 years where all of this other stuff is being built out. And speaking of a performing arts center, number 9 is limited nightlife. And this is just super true, at least right now. And so we're not known for a vibrant nightlife, and there's not a ton of options for adult or even young adult. The Star has probably the most options, where you've got like a dueling piano bar, and you've got some really cool cigar areas and bars that have themes, like the Monarch or the Glen or D. Lincoln. Just a lot of really cool areas. We've got Concrete Cowboy, which kind of turns into a nightclub, I think at 9 p.m., and that's in the Star, but it's super limited. And they're building Fields West, I guess in the next 2 years, and that's going to offer some more nightlife. So I think more stuff's coming, and then we have the Fine Arts Center coming. So we do have more on the horizon, but right now we don't have a ton. And one of the things that kind of gets me down, and I'm hoping it changes at some point, is during the week, restaurants kind of close early. And so if you're out late or if you're working late, you don't have a lot of options to grab food on the way home unless it's fast food. But if you want to go to like major concerts, theaters, clubs, there is a comedy club in Plano. Plano's got some more options, but you're really going to want to go to Dallas. And so, or some of the other cities that are going to offer other things, namely Plano and Dallas. But the social scene in Frisco is primarily family focused and really centers around restaurants rather than bars and clubs. I mean, beyond Concrete Cowboy, we don't really have a club so much in Frisco. Okay, 10 is really looking at the retail areas and how crowded they get. And so popular shopping destinations like Stonebriar Center or the Star can definitely get it busy. Sometimes it's hard to find parking, especially right now before West is built. A lot of people go to the Star to eat and for that kind of nightlife-ish. So when you get there, the parking garages, it's sometimes hard to find parking. But it typically only takes me, driving around a couple of times to really find something. But the restaurant wait times at the Star can be really bad. So I would suggest making a reservation, especially at the more boutique experiences like the Glen or the Monarch. You're going to need reservations, or even Honey Tupelo. I think they've got a brunch that's really hard to get into on the weekends, so you would need to make reservations. But it's a lot of fun down there. And of course, the major retail corridors are going to experience traffic congestions, really particularly during the holidays, but I feel like that's every major city, but it is here as well. So I don't want you guys to get caught off guard around Christmas time or even Thanksgiving time when you go to Stonebriar Mall and there's a million people there, so just be prepared. But like I said, there are more retail developments coming. Like Fields West, I know I keep bringing it up, but it's going to be huge. And so it's going to bring a lot more shopping, a lot more dining, a lot more to do. And a lot of it's going to be walkable. So that's going to be really nice. And when I say walkable, in Brookside South and Brookside North, which is where I live, one of the reasons I bought in here is because I wanted to be able to walk to Fields West. I want to be able to walk and go get a cup of coffee or walk with some friends to go eat dinner. I just wanted the urban suburban feel because it's all suburban, but Brookside North and Brookside South will have somewhat of an urban feel because there's a bridge and you just walk across it. You don't have to cross any major street, and you're at this huge commercial, beautifully planned luxury shopping and eating area called Fields West. Of course, it's not built yet, but the equity in this area is going to skyrocket once it does. And speaking of the fact that it's not here yet, 11 is construction is constant. Yes, Frisco's in hyperdrive, and it's expanding rapidly. We have new residential and commercial developments all in the works, and we have our downtown Frisco area getting a $70 million makeover. We have our soccer stadium getting a complete makeover. We're hosting the World Cup in 2026, and everybody's just racing to get everything done before the games in 2026. And so what I would suggest is, if construction is not your thing and you can't see past it and you can't see what your value is going to be on the other side of it, then Frisco's probably not the place for you right now, because we are in growth mode and infrastructure growth. And I just met with the mayor 2 weeks ago, and he showed this huge, amazing PowerPoint, all of these slides that outlined all the things that are still coming to Frisco. So it's really exciting, but you've got to have the vision of, well, if I'm buying right now and I'm having to endure construction, but what is that going to do to my equity on the other side of it? So have that long-term vision, because equity is free money. You're going to need a house anyway. So you're going to have a roof over your head for the next 5 years anyway. So why not buy in a place that's going to have supercharged equity versus normal equity? To me, it's about financial planning, not just buying a roof over your head. So the sound of construction is a little bit of a background noise. And, I've gotten used to it. I woke up because I am in an actual construction zone. I woke up the other morning to hammers. And it was amazing. And I was like, wow, that's really early to start hammering. But it is what it is. And I know that my equity every single day is gaining. It already has. I bought my house in July and it's already worth over $100,000 more than what I bought it for. So that's steep equity. It's only going up. But in that, all the growth means that Frisco keeps getting more crowded every year. So let's talk about it. Number 12 is population density is increasing. And it is. I'm not going to lie to you guys about it. Frisco's population has more than doubled in the last decade. We're now over 225,000 residents. And so this growth is leading to more traffic, longer lines, busier public spaces. I can't tell you how many people complain about it, but it's typically the people that have lived here for a long time. It's not the new people, because we're getting a lot of people from populations that are way more dense than this. And they get out here and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much open land you guys have. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how laid back it is here. And so it's all about perspective. If you've lived in Frisco for 15 years, of course you're going to be annoyed because you were used to 1-lane roads. The very first time I came out to Frisco, I literally was on a 1-lane road. And I remember thinking, who lives this far out? Who would come up here? I feel like I'm almost to Oklahoma. I literally said that to myself as I was driving. And it turns out that I was on the 1-lane road of the Dallas North Tollway, way before it was a tollway. Yeah, infrastructure makes a town feel really jam-packed. But I really love living here. And with me, again, only being here for 4 years, I did not see that slow pace. I wasn't here to experience the huge growth curve where everything got real crowded real fast. When schools were under capacity and now they're, brimming and we're building more and more and more schools, it does get annoying to the locals. So I go back to how Frisco really planned to keep their class sizes on the smaller side, but you have that rezoning. So I just think it's looking at it in a way of, do you want a better class size where there's a better teacher-student ratio in our growth and getting the equity and getting the newness of a really bustling city? Or do you want class sizes that are busting at the seams? So we have to grow our schools and then have to potentially rezone at some point in order to keep your kids in relationship to their teachers so that those kids feel like they're getting paid attention to and feel like they're getting the help that they need. And so it's pros and cons, but it all works out in the end. Now, 13, I would say, is cultural diversity is growing, but I feel like it's still a little bit limited. And when I say that, I mean that Frisco's becoming more diverse, but it still lacks a lot of the cultural variety of a larger metropolitan city where you can find multiple restaurants of every culture and grocery stores of every culture. We're getting there where I see cultural restaurants popping up all over the place, and international dining is expanding, but it's still developing. So you have to know that coming here that we're catching up, but it just takes time to get there. And so some newcomers from more diverse areas miss the multicultural environment, but I see it coming. I see it developing. So just give it some time. If you don't want to give it time, then Frisco may not be the place for you, but we are slowly catching up with major metropolitan cities on diversity. Okay, 14. I get so many questions about this. The severe weather. Yes, we get tornadoes. So Frisco does experience thunderstorms. I mean, we've had tornadoes. We have hail all the time, particularly in the spring, but we've seen hail in the fall. But We have experienced flash floods, because we'll get a massive downpour. And so, and it doesn't absorb fast enough. Tornadoes happen all the time. It's not an if a tornado is going to appear, it's when and it's where. We get them every year, but I gotta tell you, again, I've lived in Texas for almost 50 years. That's 50. And I've never been in a tornado. So statistically, it's very low because of how big Texas is and how many tornadoes appear. And a lot of them don't even come down far enough. And so just know that we have things in place. It's just like every other area of the nation has their thing, whether it's earthquakes, whether it's fires, you name it, something's going to happen. Hurricanes in your area. Ours is just tornadoes. And so we also have winter weather, while infrequent because we do have very mild winters. The problem is it paralyzes us because we have no idea what to do. Literally, we had a cold day a couple of weeks ago. It got down to 15 and some of the schools called school off. And I was like, what in the world? What in the world? It's just cold. Like, bundle your kids up and put them in school. But then I realized that it was because they were trying to conserve energy for the Texas power grid. So that makes more sense. I was a little less mystified when I found out why. We just don't do well. So if it ices, all schools, everything shuts down. Everything. And everybody will go to the grocery store before it happens because we're going to get wind of it and you don't want to not have food. So it's really funny how we act when it comes to winter weather. We're a little bit pansies about it. And then many homeowners, we just experience higher homeowner insurance premiums because we have so much bad weather, because we have hail. You're going to have your roof replaced, probably every 5 to 10 years. Even though you buy a 50-year roof, hail will happen. And so just know that we do have a little bit of a higher premiums and to be prepared for that. So if you are not okay with all of the weather that I just talked to you about, then Frisco may not be for you. Texas may not be for you because that's Texas wide. That is not just Frisco. And then 15 is our last point, and it's really that Frisco is still developing its identity. And so sometimes it's a little non-committal in its identity. It's a relatively young city. It's still really developing its character and its traditions, its multicultural essence, and the rapid growth means that we're consistently evolving, which can make it hard to feel established sometimes. And where am I going to go to do this? And what's going to be built here? And is this going to be a commercial lot behind me? All things you need to think about. Like, find a realtor to help you that knows the zoning of the city and what's going where, because you don't want to buy a house and then right behind you, a big Costco is going to get built and you're staring at a Costco from your backyard. So as far as Frisco really developing an identity, there's a lot of residents that are relocating, and I don't want you guys to feel transient because Frisco's really friendly and it may feel different moving here because we are in growth, but just know that we're a really friendly city and you may feel a little unbalanced, but as you settle in and get to know the community, I think that you will end up loving it as much as I do. And the city is going to really continue to get balanced and bring those small town roots right into its big city aspirations because, again, the city planners from 20 years ago had all of this planned and they knew the foresight of what was coming and they really planned for it. So I think what makes Frisco special is that residents are actually helping to shape what the city becomes, and the community really welcomes that input and that involvement, and so does the mayor. And so I think if you're looking for a city that you can be a part of and you can grow with and that you can participate in the equity of that city and pour into your kids and pour into your neighbors and just have a really great balanced life, I think Frisco is a really great place for you. If all the things that I just went over are not for you, then I would think about it because there are pros and cons to every city. So at the end of the day, Frisco has its challenges, but it's also one of the fastest growing cities in America for a good reason. So it's got excellent schools, amazing job opportunities, safety, number 2 in the nation, amenities. It just makes it worth considering despite the drawbacks that we've discussed. I just wanted you guys to know the truth I wanted you guys to know the good and the bad. So if you're thinking about making a move to Frisco, I'd love to help you find the right neighborhood that really balances your priorities and your concerns. I specialize in helping families really transition to life in Frisco, and I have insider knowledge that really takes you beyond just finding a home. So call or text me at the number below. Let's talk about whether or not Frisco is a great fit for you and your family. And if you want to know more about content on Frisco, then click this next video.